right. Hello, everyone. So for this assignment, I chose to interview the Emporia Public Library to assess their graphic novels collection. And I found out a lot of interesting information, but to first give you guys a little bit of background and some context, the Emporia Public Library is one of the oldest libraries in Kansas that has been in continuous operation since opening its doors in 1869. They have over 65,000 physical materials on site, and they offer a wide variety of sources, including interlibrary loan, access to ebooks through the Sunflower e-Library, as well as the Kansas State Cloud Library. They are the only public library serving Emporia, Kansas, that has a population of about 24,598 people. And they have a number of 12 full-time staff members as well as 8 part-time staff members. In terms of diversity, Emporia has a growing Hispanic and Latino population, but the percentage of the population that is white stands at 87.1%, with the median household income being a little over 40,000, and a percentage of people living in poverty standing at 20.5%. Looking at their graphic novels collection, the Emporia Public Library has two that fall under the same tag as graphic. One section is located upstairs in the corner of the young adult section, and the other is located in the children's room. Based on their catalog, they have roughly 1,200 graphic novels selected for both children and young adults. And while some of the novels in the young adult collection touch on some sensitive topics, titles for adults are hard to find. And not only that, but also the graphic nonfiction collection is pretty sparse, given that out of 700 titles cataloged under graphic, only 22 out of those titles are considered nonfiction. Both graphic novel collections are shelved separately from the regular collection, and they have indicators in their catalog as well as on the spine of the book that classifies them as graphic novels. Looking at the young adult section, the young adult graphic novel collection is made up of both graphic novels and mangas. They are shelved separately from each other, with graphic novels placed on the right and mangas placed on the left. There are 12 shelves in total set aside for the collection, which has a wide variety of standalone novels and series. And the um, and the unfortunately, the ability to expand the collection is limited to the lack of space and the budget. Um, In the catalog, the patrons are able to view both the collections by searching under the 4 different tags, which, if you look in the advanced search under material type, patrons can search by using graphic, graphic nonfiction, juvenile graphic, or graphic nonfiction. And it would look like that on the catalog. I was able to interview Molly Chenault, who is the public service librarian in charge of the collection development of the graphic novels in the young adult section. I've been lucky enough to work alongside Molly for a little over 2 years now, and I had at least some idea about some of the information asked when assessing the collection. However, she was also able to point out to me that in terms of a budget, there is not a specific budget to the graphic novels for teens and adults. It comes out of the young adult budget, which has grown a little over the past 5 years, but is constrained by space issues. The young adult budget is about $5,000 per year, and only about $1,500 of that goes to graphic novels. In terms of popularity, the graphic novel collection does steady business. Depending on the time of year, we get between 50 and 200 checkouts per month. Molly has been trying to be more selective about the which ones are bought, as manga and smaller pressed, often the standalone graphic novels are more popular than the large run superhero comics. I think for many people, those can be intimidating to get into because reading order can be so confusing. And given that the lack of space, we are unable to carry whole collections of the DC or the Marvel runs. She also pointed out that the books published by First Second have shown to be popular. In terms of the demographics, mostly young adult readers, probably about 14 and up, though the number of adults checking out graphic novels is low. Molly thinks that has more to do with the placement of the collection, as a lot of people don't realize that it is in the back corner. I was also able to ask Molly her thoughts on how the collection will look or change in the future. And she had this to say, or she is hoping to eventually find space to expand the collection, and is also in the process of changing manga to their own material type to cut down on confusion for staff and patrons. She also thinks that she will continue to see shorter series and smaller publishers be popular. And I mentioned that there is a graphic novel collection um, in the children's section, and it is put together and run by Lori Heller, who is the children's service coordinator. The graphic novels that are, they take up about 2 tall shelves, and altogether the collection contains a little over 500 titles. The budget comes out of the children's collection, and it generally sticks to standalone and big name series titles like Baby Mouse, Dog Man, and Big Nate. So then looking at my own collection development plan, I actually had a lot of fun putting this together. With the $3,000 budget, I put together an order of 174 titles for both graphic novels and mangas. In the perfect world, I would have been able to get access to more room, so that I would be able to include more adult titles as well as nonfiction. I did include a number of young adult titles as well, and took Molly's advice as I focused on more standalone and smaller press titles. As I mentioned before, Molly suggested that First Second is a popular publisher, and also given our textbook suggestion to look at websites of the publishers, I looked there as well as a number of professional journals and readers advisory blogs. Out of the 174 titles that I bought, 85 of them were young adults, 68 were considered for adults, and only 21 were considered for children. So that is, I think, about all the information that I have for you guys. I'll make it down to my list. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.